find him. It doesn't seem to be on any of these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell.
Back.
Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. Faster.
This story may use the likeness of people you know from YouTube, but it's unintentional, I promise. You believe me, right?
Dan Arnold strutted through the streets of Manchester with his phone held high, recording every step like he was some sort of urban kingpin. His YouTube channel, Arnold Unfiltered, was full of shaky clips of him shouting at people sleeping rough, mocking alcoholics stumbling out of corner pubs, and acting like he was the hardest man to ever walk through Piccadilly Gardens. In his head, he was a fearless documentarian exposing the real Manchester. To everyone else, he was just a nuisance. A clown pointing a camera at the city's most vulnerable and calling it content. The problem was, Dan started to believe his own act. He puffed out his chest, called himself Manchester's most controversial influencer, and convinced himself he needed security. Enter Carl, the so-called bodyguard. Carl wasn't exactly trained, just a bloke with a shaved head, a padded jacket, and a permanent scowl. He thought the act of walking beside Dan made him dangerous by default. He'd fold his arms, flex when no one was watching, and occasionally shout "move along" at teenagers who were laughing at them. For a while, it worked. People ignored them, rolled their eyes, and let Dan film his rubbish. But the city had grown tired of him. Not the people this time, the creatures. It started with pigeons. Dozens of them gathered on rooftops as Dan strutted into Piccadilly Gardens, his bodyguards stomping a few steps ahead like a budget nightclub bouncer. The pigeons cooed and shifted, watching. One swooped low, brushing Dan's head. "Oi, did you see that, Carl? Even birds are jealous of me, lad," Dan laughed. But then came more. The flock descended, wings beating furiously. They circled the pair, diving and pecking. Carl swung his arms, trying to look tough, but the pigeons were relentless. A chip shop bag was torn open midair, and greasy fries rained down like bombs. Then the fish joined in. From the pond, big gray carp spat arcs of water with uncanny accuracy, soaking Dan's phone and splashing Carl in the face. The air filled with feathers, squawks, and the stink of fried food. Carl tried to fight back, swinging a half-empty bottle of water like a weapon, but a dozen pigeons landed on him, clawing at his head. He screamed, stumbling backwards, and finally broke. "Not paid enough for this, mate. You're on your own," he shouted, legs pumping as he bolted down the street, fleeing the war zone. Dan, abandoned, collapsed in a puddle, shielding his head with his arms. Stop, I'm an influencer. I'm important," he wailed. His voice cracked, shrill and pathetic, as pigeons dive-bombed him with chips and bread crusts, the fish pelting him with cold, filthy pond water. When he finally staggered to the police station, soaked and humiliated, feathers clinging to his hair, the officers at the desk listened in silence as he told his story. "Pigeons and fish. They attacked you?" one constable asked, biting his lip to keep from laughing. "Yes, I was targeted. It's a coordinated hit. They knew who I was," Dan insisted, eyes wide. The desk sergeant chuckled. Then the whole room erupted in laughter. "Go home, lad," one officer said through tears. "It's not crime, it's karma." Dan left, phone broken, bodyguard vanished, reputation shredded. In the end, the streets of Manchester had spoken, and so had the pigeons and the fish.
You cannot defeat a man
who has survived the darkest times of his life, all on his own.